What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me today. Sorry I haven't posted a video in a while. I've just been super busy with other stuff, and so I just haven't had time to sit down and think about what kind of content I'm going to post. But today we're going to talk about why you don't need to set aside any money to start reselling on eBay. Have you watched any YouTube videos about saving money to start a reselling business on eBay? Like somebody's telling you, oh, put aside $10,000 for inventory. Well, you don't need a dime. Don't worry about buying inventory or having thousands of dollars set aside to invest in the business. I'm going to talk about a step-by-step guide today of how to not have to put away thousands of dollars to launch your eBay business. Just take a moment if you can to like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. We're just going to get right into it. So number one, you're going to set up your eBay or your Poshmark or Mercari or whatever store. So that's all for free. So do that right away. Number two, you're going to start listing things around your house that you don't want anymore, or you're going to go on the Freebies Alert app. That's called the Freebies Alert app, and get stuff from your neighbors that they don't want anymore. List all of that stuff as your inventory. That's, step number two there. Go around, start asking people what they don't want anymore, look through your own items, see what you don't want anymore, put it online to sell. Don't quit your day job. This is step number three. Don't quit your day job to start selling online. Keep working your 9 to 5. Come home and dedicate your nights and your weekends to listing items. Number four, once your sales on eBay hit a point where you're making 70% of your income from your 9 to 5, go ahead and quit your job at that point. Number five, at this point, you should have your savings kind of built up in case things hit a rough patch in your business. So if you actually have made enough money to just quit your 9 to 5, you should have been putting this money away. Just keep some aside for your emergency fund, keep the rest of it aside to reinvest into your business. Number six, once you've quit, you should double the amount of listings you're doing on a daily basis. So if you were doing 10 listings per day, you should increase your listings up to 20 items per day. Count on working extremely long hours. Like, this is not going to be just a fun 9 to 5 job. You're yourself. You're going to be the entire business at this point. So don't hire anyone just yet to help you. I actually made this mistake. I hired somebody to help me, and I think it was good for my purposes. I have so much else going on. And this person was able to set up an inventory system for me. She was able to, organize all of my inventory, get a lot of listings done on a consistent basis, do some cross listing. So it was okay for my purposes, but that's because I have other stuff going on. And I would have never been able to get the reselling business off the ground if it wasn't for her. But if it's you and, you're not doing anything else and you just quit your 9 to 5, you should be the person who's doing all of these different things. It's totally possible. Just dedicate the time to doing it. So during this entire process, this is step number 7, you need to keep sourcing. At this point, if you have enough money set aside from your sales, right? Not from anything else, from your sales, you can reinvest that capital into your inventory. I'm not someone who'll tell you to go thrifting and buy up thousands of items. For me, the items I've gotten for free, they sell pretty well, and perfectly well for that matter. And even items in my house, they sell perfectly well. So if getting free secondhand items is working for you, or your items selling is working for you, just stick to that. Step number 8, at this point, if you have enough capital, I'd suggest also investing into List Perfectly, which is a cross-listing tool. It's about $69 a month for their pro version. You subscribe to it, and you can cross-list your items onto other platforms. I would get this because if you want your e-commerce business to really flourish, you don't want to rely on a single platform. You want to have multiple platforms available to you. Number 9, if you're listing on Poshmark, a big part of your sales will come from sharing your closet. So invest in another app called Superposher. I've tried tons of the bots for sharing, and I used to hire people on Fiverr in Bangladesh to do my sharing, but don't do any of that. It's way more expensive than just going to Superposher and saving you time and being relatively cheap, right? So I'm going to link my referral link down below. Feel free to use that to get started on Superposher. Step number 10, keep track of your listings. You're going to accumulate items, and it's going to become what we colloquially call in the reselling world a death pile. So don't just, put a pile of items on the floor or in different places. Make sure you start an inventory system very early on in your reselling life. And mine isn't even perfect yet, but it's still some kind of system. It's not just a pile on the floor. I'll do a video on how to inventory your items at some point, but just know this needs to be part of what you do. Step number 11, keep track of your sales. So come up with a system. Come up with a system to understand your margins. That's something that you're going to want to keep track of. You don't need huge margins on each product, but you need either a lot of volume on low margin products, or mediocre volume or high volume on, products with really, low margins. So I have a mixture of low and high margin products. Step number 12 is never think that an item is unsellable as well. This kind of goes into the low margin and high margin stuff. I've sold what I thought were like really crappy items that would never be bought by anybody else ever. It always happens. One person will be looking for your product and it might take a couple of years to sell, but the item will sell. So, if somebody makes you an offer for a product that's been listed for 5 years, you can obviously take it. I would take it, but it will sell. Step number 13, be patient. Don't freak out if a product doesn't sell right away. I think people think that reselling involves products that have to be turned over right away. I mean, selling items really quickly is great, but it doesn't always happen. So you need to have that patience, and it might take a few months. Cross-list the item, consider taking lower offers for that item, but don't lose your shit over a product that's not immediately selling. Step number 14, figure out your packaging supplies and just never run out. So this is something that early on, in terms of just having capital, you don't need like thousands of dollars to go ahead and buy shipping supplies. I think when I got started, I wasn't even buying shipping supplies. I was selling really easy items. So I took like the manila envelopes I had in my house. I was putting like books in there and I was shipping them off, and it worked fine for me in the beginning. You should, once you actually, make this a real professional thing, you should have packaging tape, you should have boxes, packing peanuts, bubble wrap, and foam wrap. You should also have mailers, so you can order all these supplies from the USPS or Amazon or eBay. It doesn't matter, just make sure you always have enough packaging material. Step number 15. The next thing to do once you're running a profitable reselling eBay business is to start thinking about how to 10x that profit. So this isn't going to happen overnight or in a day. This is really the long game. The main way to 10x your profit by selling online is to launch a private label brand on Amazon. So this is not something to take lightly, and it's not an easy task. I'll reserve later lessons for something like this, but I want you to have this on your horizon. You're definitely not going to be able to, become like a millionaire off of your reselling business in a year's time, right? But over time, that could happen. That could totally happen. I've seen others do it. The private label brand, though, actually creating brand equity, that is what's going to get you to, creating wealth. And that's something we can talk about later on. Step number 16, I started this video by talking about how to not have to put aside thousands of dollars in capital to launch a business. I still stand by that. You don't need tons of money to launch a reselling business, because you can start off with free items. I also want to take this time to talk about niches. So yes, you can specialize in a niche, and yes, you might learn that niche extremely well and be able to find hot items that you can resell. But I'm here to tell you that you don't need to really worry about niches. I said in a previous video that I'm not going to say the same thing as every other YouTuber. I'm not here to tell you that you need, perfect photography for your listing in order to sell it. There are different standards for resellers than there are for private label brands on Amazon. I don't think that you need to focus on a niche. I really don't. I've listened to YouTubers and they flip-flop on their position all the time. First they'll say to offer free shipping, and then you hear from them 6 months later that they charge a flat fee on shipping. Then they'll say you're spreading yourself thin by cross-listing, while also at the same time saying you must cross-list and use their promo code for, list perfectly. I'm telling you that what I've been doing since 2003, I've never focused on a niche. I know reselling very well. You shouldn't care about a niche because people are not expecting the same thing from you as they expect from Nike or Starbucks or any other large brand. That, you're a reseller. You're doing a specific task and you're fulfilling a specific need. So you're not competing with big brands or big stores. Who cares about the niche? All you should care about is what eBay cares about, which is you listing a lot of items daily, you providing good customer service, and you not posting illegal stuff on their websites. That's it. If you needed a formula for what eBay cares about, it's those 3 things. So again, if you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. Leave some comments below if you want to know some additional details or you want me to talk about this topic a little bit more. But other than that, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining me.